Good day everyone and welcome to our case study video presentation. My name is Abada Joshua J. And let me introduce to you my group members, Custodio RB, David Francesca, Rivera Rosil, Sarmiento Lersa, and Cadil Norhan.
Thank you, Mr. Abada. Hello, everyone. My name is Lersa T. Sarmiento, and I'm here to discuss the summary of our case study, the new Human Resource Management. So, in this case study, the Prime Manufacturing Company is a garment factory that employs 1,250 employees. 75% are women who are mostly assigned in production department and men who are assigned in maintenance department. Mr. Rod Santos was hired to head the HR department. Before his assignment, Mr. Rod Santos was in a construction firm, a medium-sized organization, and his bachelor's degree is in the field of engineering. The garment business is globally competitive and the customer satisfaction is of prime importance. In the 3 month span of Rod Santos' employment, many employees resigned for unknown reasons. The production schedule was delayed and the foreign customers were alarmed. The general manager, Mario Mabelagan, talked Rod Santos regarding the problem. He noted Rod Santos' indecisive approach to the HR problem and actions that he failed to take. He pointed out to Rod Santos that he exactly did not know what to do regarding the current situation. And now, may I call on Ms. Rivera to discuss the background of the case.
Good day everyone, I am Rosilem Rivera and I am here to discuss 1.1. The background of the case, which include the issues or concern of the company and the person who's involved in the case. Let's now first discuss what issues or concern did we find out in the company. 1.1.1 Issues or concerns of the company. Letter A. Almost 32% of employees signed with unknown reason. In this case, our group able to find this as one of the issues or concern in the company. An employee are one of the most important thing that a company must have. A company should be concerned in its employee and should be alarmed if the employee continue to resign without any specific reason. The continuous resignation of employees simply means that there is wrong in the system or the company itself. Letter B. Mr. Rod Santos did not know what to do regarding the current situation. An HR manager should be the one who guide and build the employees, and having Mr. Rod Santos as a HR manager who is irresponsible and not qualified for that position is very concerning. Because of his negligence, it has caused different problems within the company and to its external. Letter C. Subordinates starts to complain about Mr. Rod. We see this as one of the issues or concern in the company because if it continues to happen and neglected, it may cause different problems to the company and may affect the environment in the company and create toxicity. Letter D. The schedule of production delayed and the foreign customer is starting to complain. As a company, we should care to our consumer. Our group find this as one of the issues in the company because if the production schedule continue to be delayed, the company may lose its customer and when it happens, it will cause bankruptcy and different problems to the company. Next is the 1.1.2. The parties or person involved in the case. 1.1.2. Parties or person involved. First is Mr. Rod Santos is the HR manager of Prime Manufacturing Company, the one who handles the employees. Next is Mr. Mario Mabelangan, the general manager of Prime Manufacturing Company. He is the one who confronts Mr. Rod about his works and negligence. Lastly is the employees, who are complaining and resigning. And now let me call Ms. David to further discuss this case.
Thank you, Ms. Rivera. Good morning, everyone. I am Francesca David, and I will discuss the 1.2, which is the problems need attention or solutions. Number 1, the company's policy is not sufficient to hire a qualified employee for the specific position. The company did not conduct a thorough interview for the job that Mr. Santos is applying. They only saw the academic credentials of Mr. Santos but not his actual skills. They did not conduct a competency test for Mr. Santos. Number 2. Mr. Rod Santos was not qualified as the head of HR department. The qualification as an HR staff is that you have a bachelor degree in any business course related. But clearly, Mr. Santos' bachelor's degree is in the field of engineering. And lastly, number 3, sudden resignation of the employees for unknown reason. Mr. Santos did not conduct an exit interview for the employees who resigned. It is important to conduct an exit interview so that they will identify areas where the business may make improvements to ensure that employees feel satisfied with their service, and in some cases, to persuade the employee to continue working there in new conditions. And that's all. Now may we call on Mr. Abada to discuss our alternative courses of action.
Thank you, Ms. David. This is the alternative course of action, problem number 1. High qualified applicant. There are several steps in recruitment and selection process, like sourcing candidates, reviewing application, screening candidates, conducting interviews, and making an offer. HR works closely with hiring managers. During the interviewing process, if the company consider all these steps, the future company problem will be solved. Every person have different perception, lalo na sa pagtanggap ng mga empleyado ng kumpanya. If the company have one perception, lalo sa pagtanggap ng empleyado, hindi na magkakaroon ng problema. Tulad na nangyari kay Mr. Santos. Hinire siya as a HR manager, but his background is not for that kind of job. Kaya nga, pinakakailangan ng kumpanya ay magkaroon sila ng maayos na pamamalakad in terms of hiring a new applicant. Letter B. Improve or provide adequate training to every employee. Providing the training and development to employees allow employers to pinpoint the knowledge and skill they want their employees to have. Training and development programs can educate employees about new skill or provide updates on existing skill to enhance productivity. Kung nagkaroon na ng pagkakataon o pag-appreciate o pagbibigay pansin sa background ni Mr. Santos, pwede pa siya mailagay sa trabaho na angkop para sa kanya, and he can contribute to his own company from his specialization at his job background. Hindi niya kailangan dumepende sa kung anong inassign sa kanya, kasi mas gamay niya naman yung trabaho once nasa specific job siya inilagay based sa specification niya. Letter C. Develop and promote ethical policy and behavior that is important to the company. To promote good moral choices and do everything in its power to prevent unethical behavior from taking places in the workplace, because the employee without proper training makes them most likely make mistake or incapable performing job duties. Tulad na nangyari ngayon kay Mr. Santos, he has little interest to his job, kaya para sa akin, need talaga mas i-prioritize ang ethical policy ng company. Dahil dito, nagsisimula ang problema, like the employees resign without reason. I think the reason that they lost their interest too, because Mr. Santos didn't have enough knowledge as a HR manager. Alternative course of action, problem number 2. A. Mr. Mabilangan, the general manager, can transfer Mr. Santos to the most suitable position for him that is vacant. Transferring Mr. Santos from different department, it will be better for the company, because if his background was suitable from his past job, it will not be a problem for the company, and he will show interest because of the new assigned job and a new workplace environment. Letter B. Do a general review of Mr. Santos' work to help him get better at his job. This is a job appreciation to improve and help Mr. Santos to be better. If the company give appreciation or appreciate his personal background, this will make a good performance for his specific job. Always remember, appreciation is a wonderful thing to make others excellent. A person who feels appreciated will always do more than what is expected. Give him opportunity to set things right. Being suspended, opportunity to being suspended is good for him to think to be better. Because if he is in the company, he cause more problem, like employee resign without reason, and the company become miserable for being little interest or lost control of Mr. Santos to his job. Opportunity of being suspended is good for an employee and able to think to be better. Because if he is working in the company while having difficulties, can cause him and the company in that situation. He can cause more problem, like other employer who resign without any reason, and the company will become in bad situation if he continue to show little interest and lost control of his job. But being suspended doesn't mean that he was out of his work. He needs to think logically what action he would take in able to go back to his work differently from his previous performance in the company. That's all. May I call on Ms. Larsa for problem 3, ACA.
Thank you, Mr. Abada. So, yung pangatlong alternative courses of action namin is sudden resignation of the employees for unknown reason. So, first, hire new employees in exchange for those who resign. So, dapat mag-hire ng mga panibagong employees para mapalitan yung 32% employees na nagsipag-resign na lang bigla. So, syempre, yung mga employee, mas mahalaga siya sa isang company. So, dahil sa pag-resign ng mga 32 employees na apektuhan yung production at yung labor of employment ay bumaba. So, kung mapapalitan or magkakaroon ng mga panibagong employees para pumalit sa mga napag-resign, may isasalba yung company. Next, investigate employees' issues and conflicts and brings them to a resolution. So, dito naman kailangan ng company na makapag-imbestiga ng maayos regarding sa mga naging conflicts, issues, o naging problema ng mga empleyado kung bakit bigla na lang sila nagsipag-resign para makagawa agad sila ng paraan at magsolusyonan agad ito. So last, offer the employees a new program that will encourage them to be back at company. So, pwede ring mag-offer na lang yung company sa mga employee ng other benefits para ma-encourage silang bumalik like sahod or iba pa. So, may I call on Mr. Custodio to discuss the suggested courses of action.
Good morning everyone. I'm John R.B. Custodio and I'm here to discuss 1.4. And for our best alternative course of action, we chose these three because we think this is the best courses of action that can probably lead to a solution. Number one is develop and promote ethical policies and behavior. It is very important for the company because ethical policies are guidelines for our employees of a company to do the right thing and behave at high standards at all time. Especially for Mr. Santos, he needs to be more attentive and put discipline in his work so that problems can be avoided. Next is Mr. Mabilangan, the general manager, could transfer Mr. Santos to the most suitable position for him. Because we chose this because we know Mr. Santos is not ready yet being a head of HR department. So maybe Mr. Mabilangan should transfer him to the vacant position where he is good so that it will not difficult for him to adapt and gain more knowledge before taking a higher positions. Last one is investigate employees' issue and conflicts and brings them to a resolution. We chose this alternative course of actions because in the case some employees are resigning without any exit interview conducted. So the company should investigate the reasons why their employees are resigning for unknown reasons. Since the employee is one of the contributor of success in their company, therefore, they should think a solution so that any problem that comes in the future can be avoided. And the next topic is conclusion and recommendation to be discussed by Ms. Cadil.
We conclude that the prime manufacturing company made a big mistake on their part. The company hired someone who isn't a good fit for the job. We all know that the human resource manager is in charge of making sure the rest of the employees are happy and doing more for the company. Since the HR department is in charge of how the company is organized and how the employees work, these persons need to be good at working with others like communicating, negotiating, and getting along with people. It should be clear from the start that Mr. Santos is not a good fit for the job because he has more experience in other areas than HR management. Even though he did a good job and learned how the HR department works, he didn't have the skills and knowledge of the department, which led to arguments and conflicts among the employees. The inadequacy of Mr. Santos' performance led to the employee's resignation, which caused him to become more withdrawn from the job. However, the company must revisit its ethical and behavioral policies not to cause the same problem that could hinder its productivity and growth. Mr. Santos needs to be moved to a better position where he can help the company grow in the area where he is an expert. Lastly, the company needs to look into the problems and conflicts and get more involved with its employees to better understand them and make a place that welcomes and helps them. Poor performance and inadequacy will always lead to bad management. And it's important to hire someone to run the HR department because it keeps the working environment efficient. Furthermore, in this case, it is a lesson on how much is the importance of putting the right skilled employee into the right position or department. As for our recommendations, developing and promoting ethical policies and behavior will help manage not only the employees but also conflicts and complaints, since it will give the employees a sense of direction. And especially since Mr. Santos' actions caused a huge impact that led to the employees quitting as a result of unproductive and chaotic work environment he created, which led to the company not being able to perform its duties. From the beginning, it was clear that Mr. Santos was best at construction and engineering. Even though he did well at his previous job, bringing him in the HR department is unfair because he doesn't know enough and has the least experience. So, putting him in a proper job would help him do a better job in his area of expertise and even help the company get better. Lastly, issues and conflicts between and among employees need to be reviewed into so that they don't lead to resignations, which could affect the growth of the company in the long run. As a company or organization, the quality of the products and employees' commitment to meeting the quality standard should not only be the company's main concern, but also create an environment that does not trigger disputes and is nonchalant toward their job.
Thank you, Ms. Kabil. In this case, we learned that we should choose a job position that is suitable for us. And before applying for a certain position in a job, we should know what tasks we are going to handle. Because in this case, being HR manager is not easy, and also if you're not suitable for this job, there's a lot of things that you need to know about it. We should learn how to manage and to lead people. We also learned that as a future HR managers, we should learn how to listen to the concerns of our employees. To be an effective HR managers, you know what you are going to do and you are knowledgeable enough for this kind of position. As for the company, we have learned that we should be more careful about hiring new employees. We should train and criticize the employees very well because the improper classification of employees can bring the company down. And that's the end of our video presentation. Thank you.